I didn't put any narration on the first video or of this ride. I thought it was pretty self-explanatory watching Mike drop down into that super deep valley. The videos just don't do it justice how deep that stuff is, to be honest with you. But anyway, I'm going to pick it back up here as we go to resume our ride. And there's a little bit more to talk about because Mike was watching. It's pretty funny. It's amazing that he gets out of it. I mean, DRZ comes up with a pretty good plan for him. I don't know if we could have got it out of there trying to come straight up the wood chips up the hill. I don't know if he could have ever got out of it that way. So I'm sure he would have figured it out. But luckily, DRZ had a plan. So went through the woods. Go watch it. It's pretty funny. It's pretty amazing, you know, that he'll look at something that steep and just drop down in there. I looked at it, and you'll see on the video, I'm like, you're out of your mind. Anyway, here we go. We're resuming the ride. It's Friday. It's a beautiful afternoon. It's my favorite day to ride of the week, kind of the end of the week, but it's not Saturday yet where there's a lot of people out and about, you know, giving you a hard time about this, that, and the other thing, riding dirt bikes. I still don't understand why people have such a hard time with dirt bikes. Watch us. We don't do anything. We're not tearing anything up. Oh, I just cut DRZ off. Nice. He was going to pass me, but to be honest with you, when I'm going up a hill, I can't stop because it's hard for me to restart it, so I just kept going. Squeezed him off. I don't know if he just locked him up or whatever. It takes him a little bit to catch back up, but he does. Anyway, back to the dirt bike thing. Look it. I mean, what are we hurting? You know, they claim that we tear things up and blah, blah, blah. There's not a mark left on the ground to speak of. Surely not as any different than a horse or, you know, or whatever.
Look at this wall.
But it's crazy. It's just the way it is, man. You can't talk sense to anybody. If they don't ride, then it's like, oh, I hate them. So there you go. I'm pointing out this crazy ledge. Look how thick that ledge is that kind of runs along there. And that wasn't dug out or anything. That's just nature's way, you know. So anyway, coming back up the wood chips where they obviously were working on the power lines. I've been working on these power lines for maybe 3 or 4 months now. I don't know if they're putting one in next to it or moving it over or trying to build a road. Not sure. But I know this. If they're going to try to take those trucks down that gully, that or valley or hill, or whatever you want to call it, that Mike went down, good luck. Because you won't get them out. So resuming the ride. Back on the main trail here. Usual suspects. Mike out front, DRZ in the middle, me pulling up the rear here. Trying to keep them in the shot. I switched cameras finally. Broke down and did buy a GoPro, but I got what they call the Hero, which is super small. Doesn't even have a case really to speak of. It's super low profile. It takes a really good video. I like that. The SJC I had 4000 I thought took a good video, but it was the size of a regular GoPro, and it just seems as much as I bang into stuff, it was always out of shape, so it was always twisted the wrong way, giving you a great view of trees, but who cares about watching trees go by. So this is super low profile. It's my first day with it, and I think it performed really well. I'm glad that I did it. It wasn't stupid money. I think it was 199 bucks for a GoPro. It's on the lower end for sure. They've come out with a newer one that voice activated, blah blah blah. I'm not that concerned about that stuff. Push the button. This is really simple. You push the button to start it, and you push the button to stop it, which is something I need. You know, I don't need anything more complicated than that. It does have other stuff you can do with it, what DP you want to shoot at or whatever it's called. Anyway, yeah, messed this up. There's a giant tree laying across. I went to the right. They knew to go to the left, so I've got to. Luckily, it was an easy go around. DRZ's coming over to check it out for me, make sure I can even do it. Because if not, I'm going to have to climb it over that log. I'd rather not. There he is.
I think I can do it.
Yeah, that's I know we've ridden this section before, to be honest with you. I didn't remember it ever being this gnarly. I mean, look at Mike flying off the back end. It was really pretty rough. I mean, rocky, steep. It definitely took a little effort, a little higher up on the skill level than I like to be at, but using my method, grind it out, trying to get through it. I hope someday they come out with some sort of 3D camera or something that will give you depth of field so you can see the terrain as we see it riding on it, because this just flattens everything out, smooths everything out. I mean, those rocks that look like they're just, you know, little bitty rocks are actually really, really big. You know, they're maybe 2 feet high, whatever. So here you go, look at this downhill. Once again, you can only tell how steep it is because you can look down and see, that's Mike in front of me now. DRZ hasn't caught up yet after he showed me the path. So you get an idea how steep that is. And it's rocky, it's rough. Oh yeah, here's my great move. Making the log wasn't the problem, but you have to look at the angle the log's at, so I went straight over it and didn't make the turn. And I'm stuck between the log now and these 2 trees. Looking at the video, maybe I should have just went left and went around it. I don't remember if there was a rock in there or why I didn't do it, but I can't back up, so I've got to try to go through these 2 trees. The one on the right's not really that thick. The one on the left is too thick, and I just battle here for a little bit, showing you what it's like to ride when you're old. Oh yeah. Kind of painful, don't you think, watching it? I am bound and determined to go between these 2 trees. I've made up my mind, that's what I'm doing. Finally, huh? Back on the trail. Still heading downhill, so obviously you get an idea that we were pretty steep up. DRZ's going back through. Alright, we're back in the order. Those guys go over logs, I go around if I can. I noticed that when the sun seems to get more direct into the camera, it tends to white it out a little bit. I wonder if there's a setting on GoPro to shade that down a little bit or keep it from doing it. It's kind of whitening out the shot, making it look, I don't know, not as defined, I guess. Here we go. coming up to the end of this section. This is a pretty steep little gully through the water, and then back out of it's not easy. DRZ can do it. Kind of just struggles through it. I hit it. Make it up it, and then don't ask me why, but I decide that it's time to fall down. Mike came over and helped me as usual. He and DRZ, they're my boys.